Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is KHG and won't you come and play Outer Worlds with me as we begin episode 7 of the Outer Worlds gameplay series. And yeah, what happened at the end of episode 6 is unfortunately there was a very small power outage. So yeah, so I had to sort out the electric and then go from there really.
Orbit over Cascadia, Captain.
I've had to go to the more dangerous landing bay because when I tried the original landing bay, it won't accept my key, my captain key. So I'm going through the damage. It won't accept my captain key, so when I tried to get off the ship there was no way to get down, so I jumped and instantly died because I couldn't handle the fall. So apparently the difficulty is a lot higher here, which I'm hoping isn't exactly true. Otherwise I'm gonna have issues.
You ever get sick of taking orders, Sam?
All SAM units have been programmed to obey customer directives.
Ain't your fault you've been programmed by the board. Whole colony's been programmed by the board.
See, where's my captain card? Look, it's just disappeared. How am I supposed to get to where I'm supposed to get to? I know that sounds reductive, but bear with me. How am I supposed to even get over there? Wow, this is... I'm not liking this. I can cut through there, I can even run around here. That's on a different...
Heads up, boss!
Classification. Flawlessly finished.
I'm hoping it's a bit of a glitch, not in this area of course, because this area is supposed to be hard, but well, not hard, but like I'm guessing more dense enemies, and yeah, so I'm a bit annoyed I couldn't disembark where I wanted to, because even if I get near to where, oh god. Okay.
Commencing cleaning cycle. Commence cleaning cycle. Good news, customer. All germs and contaminants have been neutralized. Contaminant targeted. This unit is clean, mean, and ready to kill Germans. Human body bag required. Sanitation and maintenance job fulfilled.
Please, will someone help me? My boy's in trouble. Oh, thank you for stopping. Everyone acts like nothing's wrong, like my little boy isn't at risk of being eaten by some vile creature. Please, you have to help me get my little Tucker back. He ran away and is going to get himself killed. Oh, I just know a Raptidon is melting him with acid as we speak. Don't you tell me to calm down. I promised my boy I'd protect him for always. But how can I keep him safe if he's run away? He ran out into the wilderness a few days ago. I warned him about the Raptidons, Mantisaurs, and Marauders, the toxic sulfur pools, and poisonous plants, but he didn't listen. Please, won't you go and find my boy? Well, I guess I can't ask you to leave the town walls for free. It is deathly dangerous out there. I've got some bits saved up for a rainy day. I'll give you every last one if you just bring my Tucker back to me. I won't even be mad at him running off. You tell him I won't be mad. He's been pining for an adventure. Says he's tired of living cooped up behind the walls. But he doesn't understand how dangerous it is out there. I warned him. A Raptidon would snap him up first chance it got. I just know one's ripped his arm off and is gnawing on his sweet little fingers. He should have listened to his mama. I promised I'd keep him safe here with me. Thank you. Oh, I know he'll be safe now that someone's able to fetch him home. You look for him in Amber Heights, you hear? It's down the road southwest of town. I'm sure he made it that far. I just know it. And if you find any of them iconoclasts indoctrinating my boy, you punch them in the mouths. Tell them what I think of them luring little boys away from their mamas. It's immoral.
Rap Musk and Canadize, right here. Hello, stranger. Can I interest you in Raptidon tongue? Or maybe some canid toenails? You look like a man who's looking for some mostly fresh animal parts? I don't know. Celia usually buys whatever I have, and Mr. Pickett seemed real interested. So I thought maybe I was onto something. She works for Sanjar at MSI. She's also Stellar Bay's biggest collector of canid incisors. And I should know, because she buys them from me. He came to Stellar Bay years ago, just before the board cut us off. Ended up stuck here. He was always real interested in our monsters. Mantiqueens, especially. Sure, they're real big. Hard to miss them. Who wouldn't be? Now that just sounds like a fancy way to say boring people. Well, I could send you to the same place I sent Mr. Pickett. To get a bit worried about him. Tell you what, I'll tell you where I sent Mr. Pickett if you promise to look for him. Help him out if he's got himself in trouble. Fair deal? All right then. Leave town through the southern gate, the one right here, and head past the abandoned ruins. Last Mantiqueen I saw was in the wilds out that-a-ways. Could be Mr. Pickett still out there, too. Yeah, you find him yet? Like what?
That will happen a few times, guys, because
Could I get another advance, Mr. Nandi?
Just make sure it's properly logged.
I'll note it next to the others, sir.
Well, new business turns up at last. Celia, didn't I tell you our new statistics-based advertising model would be a hit?
That you did, sir.
How can yield improvements of 26.7% not quicken the pulse? How can 32% cost savings not moisten the loins?
You've often posed these very questions.
Clear my schedule. This newcomer has a meeting with me. Celia, will you make a note
I'll
of that
be
for my
nice,
self-review?
because if he is a bad
Very
guy,
generous.
I don't want to get
Noted.
on the bad side
Not
of him.
so generous I
yet.
can't drive a good bargain. Now, who sent you? Rizzo's, perhaps? Or Auntie Cleo herself? Hiram? Why, he's probably still out at Devil's Peak. Not that he's had the courtesy to notify me, at any rate. But if you're here for him, I suppose that means you aren't here for Saltuna.
Alright. Yeah, it should be.
Fuck off, dog.
Is the dog still being a git?
So you can fuck off. Just want you to try and get off the table. Not let him.
Yeah, because it'll chew the chair.
Now, there's no need to humor me. I'm used to this particular letdown. I had hoped that livening up our advertisements with enticing figures would draw
No, I
the
want
other
the business,
corporations
dude.
back to
I
our
need credits
bosom,
to
but
upgrade weapons.
it seems we're back to the drawing board. Thanks to the so-called hazard clause, Monarch has been cut off from the board's resources and protection for 10 years now. Now, we've kept ourselves in business by trading with individual corporations, but given the off-the-books nature of those transactions, such arrangements are precarious. Yes, freedom is a tempting ideal, but a rather costly paramour.
Can't imagine why you'd sneer at the notion of a free colony. Could it be because you're an agent of the establishment?
I used to be young and
Yeah,
idealistic.
go on, fella, you tell
You
him.
can't run a city on high-minded ideals.
Well, Mr. Nandi here has a rather ingenious plan to get MSI restored to the board.
On our terms, mind you.
Are you out of your mind? You can't just go crawling back to your old masters.
But we can't continue to subsist like this either.
And if our advertising scheme hasn't borne fruit, then perhaps it's time we took matters into our own hands.
It's true, our Celia
I'm gonna
is an
play along
alarmingly
just to see how
competent
far
middle
this
manager.
goes,
If
guys.
any other company, she'd be wasted in
Welcome
detail.
back to the channel.
The
If you've
plan
been
she
here
refers to
before,
is a two-pronged approach.
thank you
The
for
first
coming
part
back.
involves
This is
seeing Stellar Bay
part
properly
7
defended.
of the Outer Worlds, because part 6 got cut off prematurely because of a power issue.
Not long, but the devil is always in the details. And the
Feel
salient
free to
detail
use
here
the chat
is
to
a
talk
Bolt
with me
52
live, but
cartridge.
if you prefer
If you
not
can get us
to,
what we
that's
need to
fine
rejoin the
also.
board, starting
Just
Bolt
enjoy
52,
the
we'll be able to
gameplay.
become one of the most productive and secure cities in Halcyon.
And you'll have a powerful ally on the board.
Why, one of the strongest defenses in Halcyon. An extremely powerful ordnance.
Ooh,
I was starting
a
to get bored listening to
weapon.
you until you said the phrase extremely powerful ordnance.
It is quite the rush. I'll need to gather some supplemental materials, but I mustn't get ahead of myself.
You do tend to do that.
The Bolt 52 will be in the old arms building southwest of town, which used to be part of Stellar Bay before we had to move our walls in. And these days, it's overrun with marauders.
Okay, I
and
want the
raptors.
weapon. Give me the weapon.
Do be careful. I've lost more than a few people to marauders and raptidons out there. Oh, and while you're at it, there should be a terminal in the arms building with some
Bolt with
dangerous
his name.
information.
Oh, because of
Perhaps
the
you could delete
American
it so it
thing.
doesn't fall into the wrong
The whole
hands.
bingo is his name, I guess.
What can I do for you? Then it's good that I keep such meticulous notes. I've asked myself the same thing many times, especially seeing as the legal mechanisms we employed were part of the board's own bylaws. Not intentionally, though that's technically true. For many years, this planet was home to as many corporations as Terra 2. Back then, it was known as Terra 1. Really? I always always thought they were refreshingly straightforward names. After all, the whole point of terraforming was to make them Earth-like.
Here, though, the results were mixed.
And as the other corporations began to tally their losses, they decided to pull out.
I can understand that.
MSI's leadership at the time certainly thought so, but there were others of us who saw an opportunity. The chance to improve working hours and conditions, to reform MSI from the ground up.
One second, guys, I'm just replying to a message. Come on. Ah, silly thing. So I was trying to send a message, guys, and my touch screen was like, oh, you're trying to do something else, and I'm like, no, because again, everything's live, so do apologize.
It's humane, but it's also good business sense. Exhausted, sick, and malnourished workers are not productive workers. Even a cursory review of the data bears that out. Anyway, we learned of a loophole in the corporate bylaws that would allow MSI to claim ownership of the entire planet once the other corporations pulled out, creating the perfect environment for us to enact these new reforms.
Okay.
No, they laughed in our faces and insisted we'd be relocating to Terra 2 along with everyone else. Yes, some of us stayed behind, and as the most senior executive remaining, I ended up in charge of what was left of MSI. I moved forward with our planned reforms, as well as our strategy to assume ownership of the planet. Yet not long after I renamed it Monarch, the other corporations dislodged us from the board and began an official campaign to paint us as lawless savages.
They're clearly not, they're just in a very dangerous
But we weren't
planet.
trying to.
Welcome back to the channel. If you've been here before, of course I'm KHG,
We followed their rules,
and this is the
and
Outer
yet they still
Worlds
found reasons to
episode
declare us
7.
outlaws.
Your first mistake was expecting the board to cut you a fair deal.
I understand the sentiment, but if we can't rely on some sort of framework, then what do we have? I do think there's something useful in a governing body like the board. Something that keeps us from anarchy, but I dearly wish it functioned differently.
Are we ready for a reply? Okay.
It's a legal provision that gives the board the authority to cordon off any planet or location that it deems dangerous.
Sounds like the board gave themselves the power to arrest an entire planet.
They would say it's for the greater good.
I mean, they're not innocent because they want to be part of the board again, but they're not as kind of evilish as the other ones.
Hard to run a business that way.